Hello everyone, this here is the LEGO Star Wars Boba Fett Starship released back in 2021. It comes with 593 pieces, and I paid $50 US for this. Now it does come with 2 minifigures and a side build, and we will take a look at those later, but for right now I just want to focus on the main thing that you're paying for in the set, and that is Boba Fett Starship, or Slave 1. This is based off of when it appeared in The Mandalorian, and it's called Boba Fett Starship because this is after Boba Fett comes back. And after that, I guess it was called Boba Fett Starship. But this is very similar to what they did in the LEGO Cloud City set, except it is much bigger, and obviously it's a standalone set. But I think the idea for this set kind of came from what the designers did in that set. And overall, they could have just released what they released in that set, just released the same Slave 1. And they could have done that, but I'm glad they didn't, because this is much bigger than that. This is more expensive than that would have been had it been released. But I'm definitely happy to pay the extra $10 or $20 to get this than I would have been to pay $10 or $20 less and get that. That one's nowhere near as good as this. And that one was good. But this one is just very, very nice. It definitely captures the overall look of Boba Fett Slave 1. It has a feature that I really, really like, which is the fact that you can kind of tilt these here. And you do kind of have to wiggle it a little bit to get them to tilt all the way. They don't work perfectly, but they do work pretty well for what they're trying to do. Something that I don't like about this here is the way that the front looks, this gray area here. I'm not sure how they could have done this any better, but they had you put stickers here instead of having another piece. So to continue that gray look, that's how you're supposed to do it. I would prefer there be another gray piece there. But honestly, again, I'm not really sure how they could have done that any better. And this, just the way that the red kind of comes together, and then how this top part is put in here, it looks like it would be a very small set. But when you actually build it, there's a lot that goes on the inside to make this as structurally, secure that it is. I mean, you can really shake this around and you can not feel much wiggling. It's very, very sturdy. It does come with these stud shooters here, so you can kind of, when you're flying this around, this ship is a little bit harder to kind of swoosh around than most Star Wars ships are, just because of its design. But it still is, you can do it, it's just not as easy. But you can fire these off, and that works pretty well. And these are kind of supposed to represent what would come out of these right here. So the stud shooters work very well, and if you don't like them, you can just leave them off. So I don't think that's a problem there. Again, if you don't like them, just don't put them on, then you'll be fine. And something else that's really cool about this too is that you can kind of put the carbonite that it gives you, and you can put it down in here, and that works very, very well. And then if you just close this there, a lot of Slave 1s, they'll have you put the carbonite on the bottom there, but I think that what they did in this set here is much better, and I'd like to see this design continue from, all future Slave 1s that can have this design, implemented into it, because it works very, very well, and I think that it works much better than having, than putting it on the bottom, because it works much better, and it definitely looks much better as well. And the back of the ship here looks very nice, the way that the orange kind of glows, and the light looks very, very nice, and again, just looks very nice and good on display. Obviously, you want to display it from the front, but the back doesn't look that bad. Usually you'd expect a ship like this to look really ugly on the back, and it really doesn't look that bad. There's also a little side build included in the set here, and you'd think this is just like something that kind of hovers around, and you can use it as that. But you can also use this as a stand for your Slave 1, and I think that this is much better than having a dedicated stand, because you can use this kind of as a hovercraft, or you can use it as a stand, and I think that this looks very, very nice, and I think many people, including myself, will, like to display it like this more than, it is on the ground. And just, looking at this little hovercraft here, you can also put the carbonite block in here as well if you want to do that. And you can kind of use this as a ladder here to get up into the Slave 1. Now, I'm not really sure how that would work, because neither side you can really get up to it. Overall, I think that this is a very nice little side build here, and it's a very good use of the parts budget. This is what it looks like when you put a minifigure inside the cockpit, but unfortunately you do have to angle the rangefinder down up to about the mouth, because if you put it at the eye or all the way up, the canopy here will unfortunately hit it, and you can't close it all the way to have, a complete look there. You can also put a minifigure in the cockpit like this, and while it's not canonically accurate, I still think that it looks pretty good. Looking at minifigures, we have Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. I think that both of these minifigures look good, but unfortunately the Mandalorian there, his head printing's a little bit low there, and Boba's head there is not dark green. It's been that sand green. It's been that sand green for a long time, but I really feel like LEGO should change that now, and they've said that, because they need the dark green contrast on the helmet there, but I still think it would look much better if they had the entire helmet be dark green. But the jetpack back here is also sand green, which is a little bit unfortunate there. But the Beskar printing on Mando there, and then the armor printing on Boba is very, very nice, and the weapons in both of these look pretty good. Removing the accessories on Mando and Boba there gets you a better look at the printing on the back, and I think that it was done very well. And also removing the helmet on Boba lets you see the face there, and I feel like that is a pretty good face for Boba Fett. Mando's doesn't have he just has the black head there, but I think that both of these minifigures were done pretty well. So this set retails for £45, $50, and €50. Now this set was released back in 2021, but comparing it to other sets that were released back in 2021, it feels like a very good deal. It doesn't have, the mass and the size of a lot of sets, that are around this price range, but it has a lot of, integral things that are going on to make, everything look as good as it does and be, as sturdy as it is. You can really shake this thing around and it will, it will stay together there. And when you look at the piece count as well, it has almost 600 pieces, and there are a lot of smaller pieces, but even still, there are some larger ones, especially to kind of make the shaping here on the outside. So for $50, this is a very, very nice deal. I feel like the minifigures are both really good minifigures. This thing over here is just awesome. I really want to see this in more sets, being able to have, this little side build here, but also being able to have a stand to make the main build in the set look much better. So that is just a very, very good idea, a very genius idea. Works very well as well. It can fall over a little bit if you kind of move it around roughly, but if you just kind of be gentle with it, it should stay up. And this is just a very nice set for kids and adults. It has the playable things for, kids and everything, but it also has, how you can display it with that there, and just it looks very, very nice. And I'm definitely glad they decided to do something new, and they didn't just release the one that was released in that Cloud City set, because they definitely could have done that, but I'm glad they didn't do that. I'd much rather get something that's new and also a little bit better as a standalone set. And I also like this back here, how this works. It definitely works very well, where how you can put the carbonite in there. There are a few things that I don't like about it. Boba's helmet, of course, I don't like that. And then the shaping, or not the shaping, but the how they use the stickers on the front there. I don't personally love the way that looks, but just minor things in the set when you kind of look at it as a whole. Also, you can't really fit Boba in the cockpit without, either taking the rangefinder off or, bending it down to about the mouth, moving it down, which honestly isn't the best look. So, probably better just to take that piece off when you want to put him in, the cockpit there. But again, this is just a very, very nice set. The way the shaping also looks, it captures that iconic Slave One look. The Slave One is probably my favorite ship in all of Star Wars. So the fact that they got this right really makes me happy. So, this is, again, when scaling down really, really, works to a set's advantage. It doesn't need, sets don't always need to be, $100 to have them be good. They can be $50 and be a really, really good set. That will make, that will last for a long time. And I bet people who don't get this set, and when you cannot buy it anymore from LEGO, people are going to regret not getting it, because this is a great, great set. with minimal flaws. So that will do it here for this review. I highly recommend this set if you like it. That's going to do it for this one, and I will see you on the next one.